Hello and welcome back to Triple Tech, and welcome to my Canon 700D experience. Now, I've owned the Canon 700D for the better part of 3 years now, and I upgraded from the 500D. But of course, the time has come, as it always does, for an upgrade. So the camera that I'm being recorded on now is the Canon C100 MK2. A new purchase, just arrived today. And as this is the end of an era using this camera, not just for videos but for photography, this camera is still for a while going to be my main photography camera, just because of the amazing results I've gotten from it. But I've learned so much using this camera for video work, and it's time for an upgrade because I want to pursue this path even further. So yes, I'm going to talk about the pros and cons about my experience with the Canon 700D, and what I think its main strengths are, what its weaknesses are. I'm going to show you some pictures I've taken with it over the years, because some of them I'm very proud of, and they're memories, important memories for me. So yeah, so I'm going to start with some of the negatives, because why not? Because I'll be honest, there are more positives than there are negatives with this camera. One of them was the battery life. When recording video, with a single battery in the main body, I wasn't getting very good battery life. I'll go through easily 2 batteries just doing one of my Triple Tech videos, which isn't very, continuous recording. It's just start-stop recording for a few seconds while I take all the B-roll shots, and then one long recording shot for my main, interview sequence. But for all of that, I would go through at least 2 batteries. So naturally, an upgrade was the battery grip on this camera. Now, not only did this improve the battery life drastically, but an unexpected thing happened, was that I found that this was actually my preferred holding position for shooting pictures, because even though it's portrait, this grip was amazing, and the balance, the weight was balanced out perfectly. Which was wonderful, because I was getting into Instagram at about the time that I got this battery grip, and of course Instagram shots are much better served in a portrait fashion. Now, I made a video about my Canon 500D experience, which was when I upgraded to the Canon 700D, and the video improvement over the Canon 500D to the 700D was incredible. I mean, I wouldn't fault it at all. And the same can be said for the photos. I learned so much about video work on the Canon 700D, because it gave me options for the first time, which I didn't have on the 500D, to change all the f-stop settings, the ISO settings, the shutter speed settings, and I learned a lot about cinematography. The 700D also introduced me for the first time into the world of 1080p recording. I know that sounds old now, but back when I was making videos with the 500D, it was only 720p recording, unfortunately, because the 1080p recording on it was only 20 FPS, which was useless in all fashions really, except unless you were planning on speeding up the footage afterwards for some sort of time lapse. But no, this brought me into 1080p recording, which improved my my video work quite drastically, and also gave me the option to do 60 FPS in 720p. One thing that this camera has unfortunately made me completely dependent on now is this flippy out screen. Unfortunately, I am now completely dependent on it because I just love it, and I think my next camera upgrade for this will have to be the 6D Mark II, just because of that flippy out screen. It's amazing to get into high places, low places, and not only for video but for photography. That was an amazing piece of kit, and I don't know why most cameras don't have this on. I mean, the 5Ds, yes, they're amazing cameras, but but it really adds a whole dimension of flexibility in getting into places that you can't get into normally. So it's just something that should be on all cameras. It's just an amazing aspect of the camera. This camera also has a microphone port, which of course the 500D didn't, and that was a big help. I could get good quality audio if it was a vlog or something out in the field, which I didn't want to have an external recorder. I would actually get pretty damn usable audio out of this camera. So from a production standpoint, in audio, way better. Now, I can't really rave about how good this camera was for me over the years without showing you some sample photos and some sample videos from my time with it over the last 3 years, or better part of 3 years. I'll show you all the pictures I've taken, a lot of them from holidays. I've taken some amazing holiday snaps, which are all on my Instagram, links below. And then I'm going to show you some clips from all the triple take videos I've created over the years with it. Well, over the, again, better part of 3 years with this camera. So yes, enjoy. Tech, and welcome to my review of the NZXT S340 Elite case. 3 SSDs, which is plenty in my opinion for a case like this. Hello and welcome back to Triple Tech, and is the best material. Hello and welcome back to Triple Tech, and welcome to my review of the Rode lavalier microphone. Build quality of it is all metal. It feels very sturdy, even though it's quite small. Hello and welcome back to Triple Tech, and welcome a bit more. And my old PSP. It's a battery to charge your phone. Yeah. We're gonna see what kind of shots we can get with a 50mm. So there you have it. There are all the shots I've taken with this camera over the years, as well as some of the footage I've taken for Triple Tech and the reviews I've done on the channel over the last better part of 3 years as well. Now, will I be sticking with this camera? Yes, of course, I will, for a little while longer, and I think I'm going to be going to the 6D Mark II, as I said earlier. And the reason for that is because I want to move into a full-frame camera. As amazing as the crop sensor camera is, it does struggle at low light. I'll show some pictures now of this camera in low light photography and star photography at night, and it struggles. It really does. And I'd like to do some more of that kind of photography, but of course this camera does hold me back on doing that. So for daytime photography, amazing, and you know you can get some amazingly cinematic looking pictures from this camera. But as I said, at nighttime it can be a bit iffy. Everyone raves nowadays about 4K in video cameras and 4K in DSLRs, and I'm not quite sure why. I mean, 4K is still an incredibly exclusive club, if you ask me, and people don't consume in 4K as much as people like to shoot in it. You don't need to worry about it really that much at the moment. Most people are watching these YouTube videos on their phones still, and if you want to shoot YouTube videos in 4K, phones need to be in 4K, because if you use the phone, the YouTube app on the phone, in most cases it doesn't actually allow you to stream in 4K on the phone. So, you know, yes, you can get some very good looking footage if you downscale 4K to 1080p, yes, and I think that is the main reason that people like to use it. So you can get a much more crisper image, as well as better noise performance as well, I've noticed in some 4K cameras. And I think that 4K cameras are becoming very, very much affordable now. You know, I bought the C100 Mark II used for £2,500, which I think is a great bargain. Yes, you can get 4K cameras for that price, but you know, the color science that Canon offers and moving into these cinema bodies, I feel, is the way I want to go for the future. If you do have any more questions about my experience with this camera, because I've used it for 3 years and I know it inside out pretty much by now. So any questions you have about that, and any questions about my experience, do put them in the comment section below. If you like the video, do like the video and subscribe. It's a great help. And yeah, this is my camera, the C100 Mark II, from now on out on the channel. So yes, more content coming soon. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.